In the welterweight division at UFC Vegas 74, you got Abubakar Nurmagomedov taking on Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos. So two well-rounded guys. Nurmagomedov 17-3, dos Santos 23-7. This is going to be a great fight. It's even money for entertainment purposes only. Both guys 5'11". It's dos Santos with just a 1-inch reach advantage. No big deal. They both fight right-handed. Dos Santos is more active, like 4.7 significant strikes per minute, which is pretty good after 30 professional fights. Nurmagomedov like 3.2 per minute, so you're looking at a considerable difference in significant strikes over the course of this fight, potentially. Now, Nurmagomedov can land takedowns, like a takedown and a half over 3 rounds. That's like a takedown every other round, so he'll probably get 1, maybe 2, right? And dos Santos has a 62% takedown defense, which is slightly below average, so I'm banking on 2 here for Nurmagomedov. Now, he's coming off back-to-back wins over Omar Gadzhiev by a decision and Jared Gooden, not to be confused with Jared Gordon, by decision. In both of those fights, he led in significant strikes, believe it or not. Not a lot of takedowns, but led in significant strikes. Now, he did lose to David Zawada in his UFC debut, so keep that in mind. He's 2-1 in the UFC. Now, when you look at dos Santos, he's coming off a win, right? Decision over Benoit Saint-Denis. But before that, he lost to Muslim Salikov by split decision, beat Kunchenko by decision, lost to Li Jingliang by 3rd round KO. And he did well in that fight. He was just down by 5 significant strikes, gave up 2 takedowns, and eventually it finished that way. So if the trend continues, you would expect dos Santos to lose this fight. And it's a very tricky one because on one end, dos Santos has a lot of experience. On the other end, Nurmagomedov, we don't know enough about him yet in terms of we need more product. We need to see more fights. He lost to David Zawada, then came back and won 2 against Omar Gadzhiev, not a bad fighter. And that's why this fight is even money, because people aren't sure which way this thing is going to go, but we got to make a decision. I'm going to lean towards Nurmagomedov because he's still a growing fighter. He should be getting better and better every time we see him. But this is a decent step up against a very good Brazilian fighter. But I still like Nurmagomedov to get the job done. He's going to have to land takedowns. He's going to have to land 2 takedowns. And one of those rounds he'll control dos Santos, hopefully, right? That's what we're banking on. In the other round, he's going to have to outstrike dos Santos along with a little bit of control time. Dos Santos will win 1 round, I'm sure. So it's going to be a very close fight. Don't be surprised if it's a split decision, but I like Nurmagomedov to pull this thing out. He'll limit the striking of dos Santos with the takedown game. Dos Santos needs to get his takedown game, at least the defense. He needs to improve that if he wants to perform well in this fight. It's very possible. But I like Abubakar Nurmagomedov to get the win, as I described, to move to 18-3. In my opinion, welterweight division, UFC Vegas 74.